10 hot YouTube. It's your boy Majorr Specter back to bring you another video, and this time it is going to be the next installment of How I Would Book. This time we are going to be doing a How I Would Book on Wrestlemania 33. Now I know I forgot to do one on the Elimination Chamber. I just got super busy with college and stuff like that. So, without any further ado, this is how I would book WrestleMania number 33. And as you can see, these are the matches. We have the Cross-Brand Four Corners match, Randy versus Bray, and the Cruiserweight Championship ladder match, all on the pre-show. In the actual show, you have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale starting off the show. Then we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Then we have the SmackDown Women's Triple Threat Championship match. We have the Intercontinental Championship match, the United States Championship match, and then that is going to be followed by the WWE Tag Team Championship match, Lesnar versus Goldberg, the Women's Championship match, Rollins versus Triple H, the Universal Championship match, John Cena versus Undertaker, and the WWE Championship match. So as you'll see on the screen, the yellow column is for the winner of the match, and I will go through and click on participants for each match. So you're probably going to see them on the screen, but that's fine. So who would be in the Cross-Band Four Corners match? Well, it would have to be, respectively, a face and a heel team from both shows. So we're going to start off with the face teams, and as you can probably see on your screen, the team that would be the face team for Raw is the Golden Truth. The face team for SmackDown Live would be Heath Slater and Rhino, who have literally done nothing. The heel team from Raw is the Shining Stars, and the heel team from SmackDown Live is the Vaudevillains. And the only reason I put the Vaudevillains here instead of the Ascension is because of something I will do in the future when I do the next How Would I Book when it gets to the next SmackDown pay-per-view, which I'm not entirely sure. In this, there are the only groups that actually don't really need to win are the face groups, and I personally think that we need to be more behind a group that's dying, and they're really good. It's unfortunate. There's another heel group on SmackDown Live that's really, really good. They've just been not utilized properly, and I'm gonna say that the winners of this match are the Vaudevillains, purely for the fact that they need something to cling on to. They haven't really done anything. The next thing we have on the list is, I know it's a high profile match, and I know it's happening right now for the championship, but I wouldn't have it for the WWE Championship. No. So I have, obviously, Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt, and here would have Bray Wyatt scoop the victory, keep building momentum towards an actual title defense, not one that's going to end in a month or two, like basically what's going to happen when he faces Randy Orton. So that's that. Next we have the Cruiserweight Championship ladder match, and I'm just going to go across the screen so that you can see. So obviously the current champion, Neville, would be in it. We'd have Cedric Alexander, who, if you saw the post-WrestleMania draft video that I did, you know that I'm a very big fan of Cedric Alexander, and I feel like he can be more than just a cruiserweight. Noam Dar, he'll probably be stuck in the cruiserweight division, but he's another guy who I think can leapfrog out of the cruiserweight division. And next, you have the person who was actually facing Neville, but I wouldn't have had Austin debut at all. I would have just had him show up and basically enter himself in the week before WrestleMania, because there would be matches and these would be the people that would qualify. Then we have Brian Kendrick, and then we have TJ Perkins. And so the way I see this, Perkins goes out, Kendrick goes out, Dar goes out, Alexander goes out, Neville goes out, and obviously that leaves your champion to be the one, the only, a double talent, Austin Aries. I've been a real big fan of Austin Aries for a while now, and he definitely deserves the title. He's definitely worked his ass off for it, so that's that. The Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale, just some people who are worthwhile noting that are going to be a part of it, or that I would have to be a part of it. I would actually have an upset here, and, you know, recently, I'm pretty sure I spelled his name wrong, but Elias Sampson just got kicked out of NXT, so that means one of two things. He's either coming to Maine this weekend, or he's out of the WWE, which blows because I really, really liked his character, but they just didn't use him at all, and when he did, he was a jobber. But I think if he comes to main roster, which I would have him come to main roster, I'd have him basically be Braun Strowman 2.0, just less murdery and a little more mysterious. So that's what I have. I would have Elias get a win here, like Baron Corbin did, and Braun will be on Raw. Elias will be on. Excuse me. I don't know where all these hiccups came from. Elias would be on SmackDown, and Elias would basically do the thing, kind of do the same thing that Baron Corbin did, just you know, I don't know. He put his own unique flavor on it. Like, he'd be very hard to beat. He'd lose a couple of matches, but he looks strong in those losses. And come WrestleMania time, just like Corbin did, it took Corbin this long to get a title match, Elias would get a title match. And then we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, and I would have it be American Alpha versus the debuting Revival. They would have, basically what I would do is American Alpha would not know if they are in WrestleMania. They would not know if they had to defend their titles. And this would be a mystery opponent, and the Revival would lose their last outing in NXT at TakeOver. And the following night they would come in and just decimate, absolutely decimate American Alpha, which I love American Alpha, and I like them more than the Revival, but it would be just such a good story, and the way, I don't know exactly how I would book it, but I would make it so that American Alpha felt like they were in NXT, where people weren't just like, oh my god, this is boring, like, I would write better storylines. And that's the main problem with a lot of the tag team divisions. They're just kind of bland, and it's sad because we don't really care too much about most of the tag teams. The only tag team we actually give a shit about is the New Day, which is sad and unfortunate, because the other tag teams can definitely hold their weight. But like I said, Revival, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder would pick up the win. So, yeah. And the SmackDown Women's title triple threat. I wouldn't have the six-pack challenge that they're having because the sixth-person match would be right here for the Cruiserweight Championship. And obviously current champion Alexa Bliss. And then I would have Becky Lynch because she's been holding her own. And there was a trade that's going to be later announced, but basically Becky Lynch, some sort of scenario came where Becky Lynch was forced to beat Alexa Bliss SmackDown before WrestleMania. Otherwise, there would be a consequence, and she wasn't able to get clean pin or submission, and so there is a mystery opponent, just like with the Revival, and it would be a trade between SmackDown and Raw. Raw would get they would get Natalya, and SmackDown would get Sasha Banks. And Sasha Banks gets to go to the brand where she wants, and of course, Sasha Banks picks up the win and finally takes the title off Alexa Bliss. And they're basically now 3 horsewomen on Raw and 3 horsewomen on SmackDown. And the 3 women on Raw would be Charlotte, Bayley, and Nia. And then SmackDown would be Alexa, Becky, and Sasha, which I think are pretty even, like top 3. And then you could phase out Natalya whenever Paige comes back to be on Raw. So, yeah. Intercontinental Championship match, I would have The Miz still have the title. He would have held the title for basically a year. He lost the title to Dolph Ziggler for a bit. But Miz would basically have kept the title for a month, and Corbin's in the Intercontinental Championship match, unlike The Miz, but I would have had Corbin in this match regardless whether he was actually in it or not. And I think the winner here, it would make a lot of logical sense because of all the hoops he's had to jump through. Baron Corbin. And if you notice right now, there are a bunch of championship title changes. It would be so far that's kind of the trend, and it just makes a lot of sense because I know it's not necessarily smart to have a bunch of titles change hands at WrestleMania, because then it's like, everyone who has the title lost. But for the storylines that I've wrote and the storylines that I would like to see personally, so far everything makes sense to me. I mean, right now we have Austin Aries. I would have him basically debut as indie/NXT guy. He was only in NXT for a little bit. The Revival NXT guy, Elias Sampson NXT guy, Vaudevillains NXT, even though they've been around for a while. Same with Sasha, same with Baron. Baron gets a title, finally. The United States Championship match, I was going to write this down before it actually became a thing. So I'm happy that WWE is going with what I was hoping would happen. So Chris Jericho versus Kevin Owens. This would probably be a hardcore match, or Falls Count Anywhere, whatever quote-unquote hardcore stipulation you want to put on here that isn't like a ladders match or Hell in a Cell or something like that. Put this match there. And then obviously your winner would be Kevin Owens, and I personally think that Kevin Owens is actually going to win this Sunday. So yeah, that's that. The WWE Tag Team Championship match I would have between Cesaro and Sheamus, and I would actually, they're trying to take back the title that they lost, and I would have the Bullet Club or as the WWE rebranded them as, just the Club, I would have them, retain. So, Gallows and Anderson, they retain. And this is an actual thing, but I wouldn't have it for the title. Lesnar and Goldberg, and obviously Brock Lesnar needs to win this one. I like Goldberg, but Brock Lesnar needs the win. He's literally been killed by Goldberg, and he needs the win, and it's the first time I've ever thought that Brock Lesnar has needed a win, but he actually needs it, so it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, whoops, wrong button. Like I said, Charlotte would, okay, I don't know, there we go. I don't know why it didn't change, but there you go. Charlotte, and then Bayley, and that would be the Women's Championship match, and Bayley would retain, and basically now Charlotte has to work her way back up the ladder after being at the top for so long, which, I respect Charlotte, but I've said this multiple times, Sasha Banks is my favorite female wrestler, with Alexa Bliss being a very close second, and it's just makes a lot of sense. Rollins and Triple H, it just makes a lot of sense for Seth Rollins to go over, plus I want him to go over. I like Triple H, always have, always will, but Rollins kind of needs the victory. He's been kind of put on the side shelf for the longest time, and then what this will do is it will get rid of the whole Triple H, Kevin Owens, and Samoa Joe conglomerate, because I don't know how Rollins is gonna overcome that. I mean, it would make sense for Jericho to be mad if Kevin Owens comes out during the match to beat Seth Rollins, but then Rollins would be like, okay, that's fine, Owens is out of the way, but then how does he deal with Samoa Joe? And I actually really, really like the whole, Triple H, Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens trifecta. It's a lot for Rollins to overcome, especially with him being sick and his leg injury. I would probably have him have a leg injury, but it'd be a kayfabe injury, so that he wouldn't have to do that. And then your Universal Championship, I hate to say it, but Roman Reigns would have the title currently, and the returning Finn Balor would come and make his claim on the title. And then we have John Cena versus The Undertaker, and this is going to set up the next WrestleMania. Undertaker will win this one, and it's to set up the second one. This isn't what I would have be The Undertaker's last WrestleMania, but the next WrestleMania would be his last, and that's when John Cena would take over. More likely than not, I think The Undertaker is actually going to retire at WrestleMania 35. So, that's that. And then your WWE Championship would be AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, who, he injured Seth Rollins in his arrival, but he didn't actually go to Raw. He didn't go to Raw. He was on SmackDown, and he's the winner of the Royal Rumble as stated before, and Samoa Joe, with the Rumble victory, with the WrestleMania victory, would pick up the win. It sucks that AJ Styles would lose 2 WrestleManias in a row, but at this point, in this match, AJ Styles does not need the victory. In the match that he's actually going to be participating in, he does need the victory. Shane McMahon will never ever need to win a wrestling match, ever. He would never need to win a match at all, and it's just, he just doesn't. So you have some of my predictions there for some of the actual matches that are taking place. But this is how my lineup would be. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching the video. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye. This is Major.